Coming up on today's episode of AMA Drone Report. Initial arguments heard in Taylor versus Huerta case. Drone privacy legislation introduced in U.S. Congress. AMA launches new e-newsletters for enthusiasts. Hi, I'm Bree Cross. Welcome to Airborne's AMA Drone Report on Aero-TV, a weekly news program covering the recreational drone world in partnership with the Academy of Model Aeronautics, one of the oldest and most respected aviation organizations in the world, with more than 195,000 members and 2,400 clubs across the country. Sorry to be so serious this week, but a number of legal and legislative issues have been introduced that may affect you. First, opening arguments in the case Taylor versus Huerta were heard recently, and the judge was apparently not impressed by the arguments made by the FAA. The case was brought by Maryland attorney John Taylor, who contends that the FAA did not follow proper procedure when it enacted the registration database just before the holidays in 2015, and that it ignored Section 336A of the FAA Modernization Act, which prevents the agency from enacting new laws regarding model aircraft. Part 48 of the FARS appears to be a new rule, according to Taylor. But the FAA says Part 48 is not a new rule, that drones and model aircraft are aircraft and have always required registration. The online database was simply a convenience set up by the government for that purpose. However, when the FAA attorney stumbled over the words in Section 336, the judge reportedly said, quote, "You're just making stuff up. That's not what the statute says." The judge also said the FAA's argument was, quote, "very strange to read. I would not write anything like that. I'd be laughed out of the business." In the next Drone Minute, let's take a brief look at a few of the shorter stories that are making the rounds of the small UAS and hobby drone communities. Here's a hero drone story. Nearly $400,000 in stolen construction equipment was located by the Cecil County, Maryland Sheriff's Office using one of its two recently purchased drones. Cecil County Sheriff Scott Adams operated the UAV in an area where visual observations could be made of the suspect's property in question, and the equipment was ID'd. And here's a not-so-heroic drone story. Drone flying got a black eye when aircraft fighting a wildfire in Arizona's Coconino National Forest were grounded temporarily due to a drone sighting. CNF officials said that a helicopter inbound to assist in firefighting efforts last week was temporarily delayed due to a drone flying in the area near the fire. The drone pilot has not yet been located. XIRO has announced their new Explorer mini drone. It includes customized body covers, intelligent flight control, multiple flight control modes, and the Explorer app. The compact Explorer mini captures and shares photos or videos of people, places, or things. Ready to fly right out of the box, the mini is controlled by an Android or iOS smartphone app. The mini weighs 15 ounces and has approximately 18 minutes of flying time. That was our Drone Minute. Now back to the rest of the news. Legislation in Congress has been introduced to protect the privacy of individuals from the expanded use of commercial and government drones via what they call the Drone Aircraft Privacy and Transparency Act. The law's authors say the legislation will require privacy protection provisions relating to data collection and minimization, disclosure, warrant requirements for law enforcement, and enforcement measurements in the licensing and operation of drones. The Drone Aircraft Privacy and Transparency Act would prohibit the FAA from issuing drone licenses unless the license application includes a data collection statement that explains who will operate the drone, where the drone will be flown, what kind of data will be collected, how that data will be used, whether the information will be sold to third parties, and for the period for which the information will be retained, require law enforcement agencies and their contractors and subcontractors to include an additional data minimization statement that explains how they will minimize the collection and retention of data unrelated to the investigation of a crime, require that any surveillance involving drones by law enforcement agencies will require a warrant or extreme exigent circumstances. There's no such thing as too much good information, something obviously well known to our friends at AMA. On Tuesday, March 16th, AMA released its first issue of a new twice-monthly e-newsletter, Model Aviation Media Minute. Media Minute is designed to give you a quick look at stories that you might have missed from Model Aviation magazine and other media channels. But get this, next month, AMA will also launch Rotor Report, a monthly e-newsletter focused on the interests of helicopter and multi-rotor enthusiasts. Initially, Rotor Report will be delivered to AMA members who have indicated a primary or secondary interest in these areas during their membership enrollment or renewal, but anyone is welcome and encouraged to subscribe. Both of these new e-newsletters are a free benefit for AMA members, and subscriptions are also available to non-members. You can help spread the excitement of our hobby and sport by sharing these great stories with friends and family. Check out modelaircraft.org/publications/newsletters.aspx. Well, that's our program for this week. In addition to this program, our daily Airborne Limited episodes covering the entire aviation and aerospace world are streamed Monday through Friday. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and tweet us. Get comprehensive real-time 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net, and more information on the exciting hobby drone world at modelaircraft.org. We'll see you next week.